Hi Fixer family, it's Charmin, and on today's video I have got 4 super cute, super easy Christmas ornaments for you. Welcome to Fixin' 2. Alright, this first ornament we're going to be using, of course, some 1.5 inch ribbon, and I could pick that up at Dollar General at some point. And then we're going to be using each of these sizes of ribbon, and I'll have those listed down in the description box for you. I have these rustic stars, but you can use wood stars, whatever you may have on hand, some twine, and of course some type of stick. Now you can use a rustic stick from outside. You could also use a skewer, whichever one you prefer, and some scissors. So let's get started. So as you see, I'm going to be using my rustic just twig that I got from behind my house. And we're going to take the longer ones first, and we're going to just tie each of them to the tree, starting at the bottom and working our way up. And the way that I did it is all of them are going to the back, or basically one side of the stick, and then just pulling it super tight. And you want to make sure that your ribbon is the wired ribbon, because that will make a big difference in how the ribbon lays. And then you just pull it super tight and then start bunching them together. Once you have it kind of the way that you want it and everything, you'll just continue to build as you go up. Now that you've gotten all of your ribbon on there, we're going to just go ahead and kind of spread it out, kind of fluff it out just a little bit, and then you'll trim off any excess on your stick. And then we're going to also use a pair of scissors and trim it up on the sides of the ribbon to give it that Christmas tree shape. For me, I wanted to kind of give it a little bit of a finished look at the top, and so I'm going to take some twine, and first I'm going to make a loop. Now this is going to be how I'm going to hang it. You don't have to do this if you're not going to use it for an ornament, but I'm using mine as an ornament, and so I'm just going to start by putting a little bit of glue on one side of the stick, and then putting the end on it, as you see here, looping it around and gluing it on the other side as well. And then I'm just going to begin to wrap it around to give it somewhat of a finished look on the top up here. And just to put a finishing touch on this first ornament is just to glue my star right up here at the top. I love how this one turned out. Of course, this is my colors that I'm using this year. For this one, you're going to need 2.5 inch wide ribbon, and we're going to cut 20 squares, 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. That'll be 8 for the bottom row, 6 for the middle row, and 6 for the top row. We're also going to need about a 12-inch piece of twine, scissors, and hot glue. So let me show you how this is done. All right, we're going to take one of our squares and we're going to have it to where we've got a point at the top and a point at the bottom. And what I did is I did the rough cut side to one side and the wired side to the other side. And then we're going to grab our top point, roll it in to our bottom point, creating a little cone. You've got the cone point on one end, and then the other side has that little odd shaped point. I hope that makes sense and you can see exactly what I'm doing here. And we're going to put a little dab of glue on it. Be super careful because of course your ribbon is porous, and you've made your little cone. We're going to be making 20 of these. So let's do this one more time. So we're going to take one of our squares, and I've got my wired on one side and my cut in on the other side with the point at the top and the bottom. Grab a top point, bring it down to the bottom point, hold your little cone there, and then just put a little dab of glue right there on that little flap, and you will have your cone. So it takes a little bit of time, but it is all worth it. It makes a beautiful, beautiful ornament here. So let's get busy making the rest of these. Now that you have all 20 of these made, you're going to take your first set and go ahead and you'll take 2 of them and make sure that your points are going in the same direction, and you'll glue a little bit at the bottom there and a little touch at the top. Now your first row is going to have a total of 8. Your second row will be a total of 6. And then your third row will be a total of 6. So once you get all of them together, and I did it kind of like in sets of 2 and put them together as, it was a little bit easier to put them together this way. So I've got, this set done, and then I'm going to take my other little set you see here, and I'm going to glue those together. Now you can use, as you see, I have a clothespin there. You can use your, I found that holding it was just fine. So we're going to go ahead and do that and get all of the bottom together, but we're not going to pull the circle completely together. We'll just kind of make a round 8, but not pull that last one together. All right, we're going to take our twine here that's about 12 inches long, and we're going to go ahead and meet it down here at the bottom, folding it over and creating a loop at the top. And then you're going to create a knot, and your loop at the top is going to probably be, I would say about 1 inch long, maybe 3/4 of an inch long. You don't want it, very big. But then you're going to take the I don't know what you call the little cones that we've created before we've closed in that bottom row, and we're going to lay it in there about 1/2 inch in, and you'll kind of see how it's coming together there. We're going to glue that right there inside the very top of where those cones, the tip top of the cones, come together. And I know that there's a lot of details to this, but trust me, it is well worth it, this particular ornament. It turns out so stinking cute. So we're going to put our hot glue in there. we're going to fold it over and then go ahead and complete your little circle by putting your glue right there, and you'll have your first row, your first layer of your little tree ornament made from these ribbon cones. And like I said, this turns out so stinking cute, and we're going to go ahead and glue that together, and then we'll be ready to start our next row. Now, using the same technique, we're going to be putting those together, and we're going to move up about halfway on our twine here, putting the next row, and that second row from the bottom is 6 of the little cones, and then the top layer is also the 6 cones. Now for the top layer, you want to put it right up under that little knot. And for me, I just started putting them on one at a time instead of putting them together, but you can still do it the exact same way that I did the other 2 rows. And guys, again, oh, I just love this one. I think this ornament is my absolute favorite so far. Well guys, I know it has been a hot minute since I have been on here, and it has been a challenge nonetheless. I have started my treatments, and again, I want to tell you how much I appreciate all of the love, the positive comments, the encouragement, the prayers, everything. They have all been felt. Thank you so much. I also want to let you know that yes, there will be videos, but they may continue to be a bit sporadic. It has been, like I said before, a challenge, but I'm here and I'm doing well, and I am going to work very hard to bring you all of these wonderful projects that I have in my head to help you through the holiday season, to be able to decorate your home easily and on a budget. So let's go ahead and get back into these wonderful ornaments that I have for you. For this next ornament, or actually the next 2 ornaments, we're going to be using this, I guess you could say, skinny heart that I got from the Dollar Tree wood, and I'm going to just cut off the little top part of the heart, some scrap wood. We're going to also use these little building blocks and the ABC blocks, or the tumbling tower game here. 2 different types of nautical rope that they have, some berries, and of course my little rustic stars. Now, as I said, I took the little skinny heart. This is like from the Crafter's Square, the Crafter's Corner that they have at the Dollar Tree, and I just took and simply cut off the little bumps that are on the top of a heart and turned it upside down, and had a perfect shape for our Christmas tree. And I took the nautical rope, actually the lighter one, or the softer one, I guess you could say, and it's twisted up, and you can untwist it and get pretty much just, string or cording and however much you want. And I just untwisted it from just the first twist. And I'm very simply going to just glue across the back to start with my hot glue gun, and I start at the bottom of our little triangle shape here. And to get it good and secure, I did a good straight line of the hot glue. And the reason that I did that, there's a couple of reasons. One, of course, I wanted it to be secure, but with this rope, it being just a bunch of string together, it can easily fray and ravel, and I wanted to make sure that it stays together, so I was real secure with the back piece, that first piece, to make sure that it all stays together. But once that is on there and I felt real good about it being secure, As you see, I put a lot of glue, but once we get it good and secured on there, then it's just a means of just beginning to wrap it and putting glue ever so often on it. Now once I got it to the top of the triangle, again, I just use a lot of hot glue to really make sure that it's good and secure at the top, and kind of closed it in and trimmed off any excess. Now that we have it completely wrapped, I am going to use one of my little rustic stars here, and it does have a hole in one of the little points there, and I'm going to use that. I'm just going to take, and I wound up putting a little bit of hot glue on the end of this twine so that I could create a good straight things to thread my twine in there, and just tie it off at the top. And then we're just going to glue our star to the top of our tree, and it will be ready for the next step. Now once we have our star glued at the top, we definitely need a base, a stem, or something to that effect. And what I decided to use was one of these ABC blocks from the Dollar Tree. And I just take the ABC block and paint it on several coats to cover up those letters. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the stain that I have here on a brush and just give it a little bit of a rustic flair. Once it's dry, we're just going to take some hot glue and glue it right in the center on the bottom. And once you get that placed on there, then you have this darling ornament, or you can also just use it as a decor piece. For this ornament, we're using just a scrap piece of balsa wood that we're going to use this stiffer nautical rope that you get from the Dollar Tree. But before we put it on there, and we're going to cut a little piece of twine to create our hanger at the top, because I'm doing a little different topper for this one. But what I decided to do was to put a little bit of glue on either side of the very tippy top there. And then once we glue that to the either side, then of course when we wrap our nautical rope on here, it will hide that, and we will have our little loop at the top for hanging. Now we're just going to do exactly what we did with the last ornament, starting wherever you want to, but at the bottom, and just beginning to glue it down, pull it tight, wrap it around until we get to the very top of our ornament. Next, we're going to do something, like I said, a little bit different at the top of this particular ornament. I'm just going to take some of my little red berries and glue them right at the top. And there's really no rhyme or reason. You just do whatever looks good, feels good to you. I just wanted a few little berries, but you can put greenery, sprigs of like a little Christmas tree greenery, or anything that you want to at the top. You can put another star up there. That is totally up to you. Make it your own. And last but not least, we need a little trunk at the bottom of our tree, and the tumbling tower game that you can get from the Dollar Tree. Some of them are all one color, and some of them have these variegation of colors, and I really like the dark color here, and so I'm going to use one of those, glue it right in the center of the bottom, and you have your finished tree. Guys, I love all 4 of these. Let me know down in the comments section which one was your absolute favorite. I hope that you enjoyed these Christmas ornaments. I love the way they turned out, love the rusticness to them, and of course they do go with my decor for Christmas. But if you have other ribbon that you've been using, you of course can use that ribbon for those other two ornaments and make them your own. And want to make sure that I let you know how much I appreciate you, and also want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a wonderfully prosperous New Year. And always remember to keep looking up, because that's where it all is. I'll see you on the next video.